Hello everybody and welcome to the Switch Showcase, where today we are showing off BIT.TRIP RUNNER for the Nintendo Switch. Now this is a port of a game that originally came out in 2011, almost 10 years old, and was originally developed by Gaijin games. This was put onto the Switch by BIT Games, and unfortunately I do have a small problem with the Switch port just coming out immediately. When I first downloaded this and opened it up, I did have an issue because the game loaded up and the menu music played to a blank screen. Now, you may think that's a pretty big problem, and it was. But the way around it was to close the Switch down completely, open it up again, and then it worked perfectly. But that is a bit of an odd problem, and hopefully BIT Games sorts that out at some point. Now, I am a big fan of the BIT.TRIP series. I played Runner 2 a long time ago, I think near the beginning of the channel, and then I played Runner 3, which was a bit of a buggy mess. I enjoyed it, it was fun, but there were a lot of bugs, it was a bit of a mess. And now, we are all the way back to Runner 1. Now, this is the impetus for the Runner series. It is platforming, it is rhythm-based, it is all that lovely stuff. I have played through it a little bit. In fact, I've almost played all the way through to the end of the first world. And from what I can tell you, it is Runner. It is just Runner, like Runner 2 and Runner 3, but less polished, and a few of the sort of adjustments made for player health and well-being, like checkpoints so you don't rage, are not included. So let's go into the first level and just show off the gameplay. So here we are, there's CommanderVideo, and we are off. We can jump, we can slide, we can kick, and that's about it right now. After having the first world. I believe in the first world of the original Runner game, you also got the ability to dance for extra points. I don't know whether that was a Runner 2 inclusion or something that was in this as well. I hope it was, because honestly, I love doing like the little dances between every little bit just to get those extra points. It was always very gratifying. There we go. Perfect. And of course, as you collect those little pluses, you layer up the music and it makes it, you know, a bit more interesting than if you just did it normally. There we are. So there we go. Challenge complete, and we got all 11 gold, which means we have a bonus. What is the bonus? Well, here we go. It's an Atari 2600 looking rhythm thing, except there's no music in the background. So you're literally just working to the beat of 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, out of all the bonuses in the BIT.TRIP series, this is the worst. It looks good. I think it's actually more based on a ColecoVision, but whatever. I'm not a fan of the bonuses. It's just too bare bones. There's no audio to it besides your little blips. And it is painful to listen to all the way through. But there we go. Lovely. Look at that. Fantastic. Right. We'll just keep going through. In terms of like little things here and there that I like, they're all pretty much prevalent in all of the BIT.TRIP games. The controls are nice and responsive. You know, the range of movements you have, you've got the kick and all of that, just to make the platforming a bit more interesting, is nice. The fact that you get a bonus for collecting everything at the end of the level, even though it's not a very good one, I do like. The music that builds up on itself is very enjoyable. The backgrounds, though much plainer than BIT.TRIP Rhythm 2 and 3, BIT.TRIP Runner, sorry, are fine. They, you know, they do their job. They're okay. I mean, they're a bit basic, because if you remember, in BIT.TRIP Runner 2, you had a huge variety of backgrounds for each level. Each of the 30 levels, or something like that. I believe it's like 25 levels, maybe? There was a large number of levels in like 5 worlds. This is a much smaller game. In fact, it is tiny in comparison. But there we go. And nothing changes for this. You know, we're still just doing this. Running through. Getting all the gold. Look at us go. There we are. Lovely. And again, I really hate these. Like, I really hate these bonus sections. They improved them so much in the later Runner games. They really did. It was kind of insane how much better they were. Oh no! Me gold! Oh, damn. Right, well, there we go. Yep. There we go. Bonus complete. Thank you. Thank you very much. There we go. That's not too bad. Right. Fantastic. And TOG. Perfect. In terms of the visuals, I actually kind of like the little 8-bit Commander video. And the fact that he's superposed on this, you know, 3D world. It is nice. It looks good. And when they start incorporating stuff into the foreground, it does make it very, very nice. I know. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the runner games in general, as I've said. But I feel like this was not the best place for them to start out. It was good. It was probably amazing for the time in 2011. But I feel like I've been spoiled by Runner 2, which I think is the best in the series. It is amazing, and the fact that you had different playable characters, some of which were from, wait, no, you didn't have different playable characters, you sort of did, but you did, and you had characters who were from, like, different indie games present in it, like Meat Boy, and they do that here, but I think, if I remember rightly, there were, like, different costumes for CommanderVideo based around them. I know, I might be misremembering that, tell me in the comments if I am, but I know, I just, you know, it's fine. It's okay. I just, I prefer what they did later on because they improved so much. If anything, at least they're selling it for a cheap price. It's like £5 or something like that. It's not too bad. But I feel you'd probably get more enjoyment out of Runner 2 or even Runner 3, as broken as that was when I first played it. It still had a lot of charm to it. There we go, lovely. Okay. Oh, damn it. There we go. I know, we're just sort of going through the motions, really. There we are. The gaming motions. I like that they, you know, they do stuff that's good. They add in those extra little elements to the worlds. They add in, like, the UFOs that fly over that you have to duck over. Later on, they have little bouncing squares that you either have to jump or duck under. And that's really good. You know, they evolve the gameplay in a very natural way, and it's clear to see why this gets very good reviews. I feel like I've just, as I say, I've been spoiled by the later games, because they're fan-fucking-tastic. Oh dear, I don't know. Also, the lack of checkpoints bugs me. The lack of checkpoints, although the worlds aren't as big, and as such they don't necessarily need to have checkpoints, I know, they were like a nice little comfort blanket. They were a nice way to play for a level, because as you saw just then, I just got beaten back. And that's a pain in the ass. Right, there we go. Okay. And I will say, my least favourite stuff in these games, no matter what, has always been like the little staircases. No matter what, I always have trouble getting over them properly. Right, there we go. But unfortunately, there isn't that much to say about the BIT.TRIP Runner, or at least this first one, because it is, you know, it's very shallow compared to the other ones in terms of the additional bits that they added in. It's fine, it's a good game, it still feels very nice to play because it's BIT.TRIP Runner, and, you know, I enjoy it. I just feel like they did so much to improve the other games. Like, honestly, I can't imagine myself playing this all the way through. I can actually, because it's a very short game. But stuff like that, stuff like going all the way back to the beginning when you're nearly at the end of the level, is frustrating. It is very frustrating. And apologies, because I will have to, like, redo levels on account of the fact that talking in rhythm games is always a pain in the ass for me. I don't know whether it's bad hand-eye coordination or what, but I'm fine doing them on my own, but when I start talking, I start fucking up. Right, there we go. Lovely. There we are. Fantastic. But yeah, again, the music for this early game is fine. But again, I just don't think it's as good as the music in the other games. The second game, the way it did this same concept, it gave you at least a melody at the start rather than just a beat that you had to work with. And again, I just think that worked so much better. It was so good. And going back to this, it's kind of awkward. Like, I love this game. I love this series. It's one of my favorite game series to play when I'm just looking for something to do. But, yeah. There we go. Oh, dear. And if you remember, like, the bonus at the end of BIT.TRIP 2, where you got into the cannon and you shot yourself at that giant target, that was amazing. What do we have here? What do we have? We have this. It looks nice. It looks fine. It's just very dull. Oh, bollocks. Okay. How are you even meant to get gold right before you do a slide? That's what I'm interested to know. Anyway, there we go. Lovely. Right. Tell you what, let's do a couple more. See if we can get to the bits where they add in the kicking and everything. Unstoppable, Mr. Video. Because we've got our kick. Yeah, okay. Here we are. Okay. Right. Come on, then. But yeah, you can even hear it. They start off with such a plain thing, and if you know, it's good that they give you the plus signs a bit quite early, just to make sure you're not listening to the same BS over and over again. But admittedly, this is a short level, because this is just meant to introduce the mechanic of kicking. Which is fine. It's nice to have a level that does that. It really is. You know, it kind of feels redundant to pick apart this game, because even the devs knew what worked and what didn't in this game, because they improved on it in every way in the sequels. It's a very odd series to talk about in that regard. There we go. Lovely. Keep bouncing all over. Fantastic. And you know what? I like the fact that they do technically have diverging paths. But, you know, it's not in the same way that other games in the series did it, where down those paths, you would either have easy and hard modes, you'd have, you know, like, ways to unlock characters and visuals. It just seems very bare bones in comparison. Which makes sense, as I've said, it's the original game. Ah, God, I'm very conflicted. Like, I am just ridiculously conflicted, and there's so little to talk about in comparison. But yeah, there we go. Let's try and do a complete run of these again. No, that's not happening. Oh, boy. Right. There we go. Fantastic. Tell you what, let's run through one more and then we'll be done for today. But yeah, it's fine. Okay. Let's do it. But yeah, I don't know. I just remember loving BIT.TRIP 2 so much. Not even when it just came out. I play it very occasionally. Like, you know, I pick it up every now and then just to play through, see if it still holds up. And it does. It does, you know, it does a good job. Runner 3, on the other hand, I haven't picked up since I streamed it when it first came out. Because it was broken, as I say. You know, you had stuff like CommanderVideo falling through the floor and just kept on falling after a failed jump for like 4 minutes, I want to say, before getting like a little, you know, game over with him going back to the main screen. It was insanely buggy. And, you know, it was enjoyable. It made me laugh a lot. But that doesn't mean it was good. You know? It's one of the most awkward positions to be in. When you love a series, but there's only one game that's actually truly good to you. You know, one game that you would go back and play over and over again. And this ain't it. This ain't it, Chief. Oh, God. Right, there we go. Lovely. Like, I can gush over this series as a whole, but individual games, less so. It's a very awkward situation to be in. Right, there we go. Fantastic. Perfect. But yeah, even in the sequels, I have remembered they did keep this sort of ColecoVision Atari 2600 looking gameplay, but they had it in its own separate world. They had your own separate little challenges to do those in. They didn't have it as your bonus. I think because they realised that it was a bit too long-winded for a bonus at the end of a level to get this whole sort of like extra bonus level. I know, I feel like they handled the whole thing a lot better. Because even then, if I remember rightly, it had like the whole, you know, music behind it for a start. Which really did improve things, you know. And I just, I remember that being so good in comparison to this. And of course it was. It's a better game. There we go. Fuck the gold. Oh dear. Right, there we go. Oh no, I'm trying to think if any other rhythm game has elicited this kind of response in me. This sort of like, you know, not ambivalence, but sort of just meh. I guess that is ambivalence, but whatever. You know what I mean. It's just, at least with games like DJ Hero, you know the controls were pretty damn shitty. Or with, you know, Guitar Hero, you had a great list of songs to choose from, even if sometimes the visuals looked like they wanted to eat your face. It's just, ah dear. I don't know. BIT.TRIP's like the one to talk about with the least to, you know, really discuss. Okay. We got a jump here. We got a kick here. There we go. Lovely. Now that I did like. I like the sort of extra fuck you at the end with the two stacked on top of each other. Right, there we go. One more bonus, then we're done for today. Oh boy. But yeah, it's an interesting one. How are you meant to get... I presume you're just meant to hold your jump. Ah, I am a fool. Whatever, there we go. 9 out of 80. Fantastic, and apparently that's my high score. Kind of ashamed at that. Well, there we go, everybody. I'm going to end it there for today. BIT.TRIP Runner 1 is a fairly interesting time. I mean, you can definitely see a solid base from which Runner 2 and Runner 3 were developed from. And all in all, it's not a bad game. It plays well, and it's fine. It is much more challenging than the others due to the lack of checkpoints and the more sort of arcadey structured gameplay. I like it fine. I like it fine enough. It just isn't that great. And I hate to say it, because it's, you know, it's BIT.TRIP. It's CommanderVideo. It looks wonderful. If on the Switch there's not that much anti-aliasing, like you can see the corners. You can see the jagged corners on those things. I know. I feel like they might have polished it a little bit, but maybe not. Maybe that's not what they do when they import stuff to Switch. But all in all, it's an okay time. I don't know. It's really difficult to talk about it, because it's so old at this point. You know, I can't treat it like it's brand new. But yeah, I don't know. If you like the look of it, then it's definitely worth picking up and having a go with. But anyway, there we go. I'm going to end it there for today, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel down below. And if you didn't enjoy this video, well, there is always a button for you as well. Lovely. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.